Okay, let's talk about how you can invest if you make $2,000 a month. And this is going to be more than just investing money-wise, investing in stock market, stuff like that. Yes, we'll talk about that, but also some things that can actually help you grow. So let's talk about the money stuff first. If you make $2,000 a month, and this could range, obviously, this could go for any real amount of money, but for $2,000, say you're taking that home at the end of the month, like after, if you have taxes that you have to pay on it right away or whatever, say it's after tax, you're taking $2,000 off. Let's assume that either we'll do two scenarios: you live with your parents, or you don't live with your parents and your rent is just not that expensive. So let's start with if you don't live with your parents. If you don't live with your parents, $2,000 a month is beautiful. I mean, beautiful. 2K a month, that means you can just save all of that. Like, maybe you have to help your parents with some payments, or you have some bills, like your phone or something like that. But let's just assume you have $300 in expenses if you live with your parents or something like that. Maybe $500 max. That leaves you like at least $1,500 to start with for investing in multiple ways. So money-wise and stock market-wise, I would, if you're young, which you probably are, if you're making around 2K a month, you're probably pretty young. So I would invest that in, like, do some research, do your own research, but I would pick some of the, like, most consistently good and long-lasting individual stocks, like maybe 3 to 5, probably like 3. Like, I'm talking Google, Microsoft, Amazon, stuff like that. And then the S&P 500, like VOO, and stuff like that. That's like I don't know if I can't remember if VOO is a mutual fund, but S&P 500, at least the one I invest in, the SWPPX, which is a mutual fund where it's investing in the top 500 companies. That's what the S&P 500 is. It divides your money up into like around the 500 top companies in, I believe, the NASDAQ? No, I don't know. I can't remember what the 500 companies are in. But yeah, it's going to spread your money around, so it's super safe. So you're going to have some riskier things, like the individual stocks. Those are always going to be riskier. And then you'll have a super comfortable type stock, like the S&P 500. So that's what I would do. I would pick a couple things. You can even try crypto if you want, like invest in Bitcoin. Probably is the safest way to go if you're going to start with Bitcoin. But if you want to be really risky, you can put money in there too. And this again is if you're young. If you're older, I don't know what age. Again, this is not financial advice. It's just what my experience has been. If you're older, I probably wouldn't invest as aggressively, because it's just going to be risky. It's just going to be way riskier than if you're young. So yeah, so that's 2K a month if you live with your parents. Now let's talk about the opposite side of this. Not the opposite side, but let's talk about a different way you can invest in this scenario. If you're making $2,000 a month and you live with your parents, you're doing something right, dude. You're doing something right. Obviously, if you're like 40 and you're making 2K a month living with your parents, that's something to evaluate. But I'm thinking in my head, you're probably like early 20s, maybe even late teens. But this leaves you so much wiggle room for investing in yourself. And what I mean by that is investing in your knowledge and experience and stuff like that. So you can invest in your knowledge through books and paid paid tutorials or like videos of some sort. Like if you have a creator that you end up watching through YouTube or something that sells something that you might want to try, you can purchase that because you have so much money to work with, and it's good to invest in yourself so that you can build up your skills and then make more money. You can buy a course, you can get a mentorship, like a one-on-one type thing. There's probably things in real life, like if you want to be a musician or something, you can get mentored by a musician. Go to a music store and like talk to them and maybe start getting lessons from them, or just mentorship and pay them for it, or if they even require that. So there's just a lot of different things you can do with that money besides for putting it in investments. I think you should still invest a portion of it, like maybe $500, and then you spend $1,000 on investing in yourself. Because the reason investing in yourself is so important is because the more skills you have and the more honed in on them you are, the more experience you are with them, the better you are at them, is going to increase your value to people anywhere, and just increase the amount of opportunities and like things that you can do. Like, for example, using my own example of life, I streamed on Twitch, played video games, stuff like that, but through that I started doing YouTube and learning how to edit very well and getting comfortable in front of a camera. And by the time I was 3 years in, I was very comfortable with all these things. I could do them for other people if I wanted to, which I didn't because I had my own personal brand, but I could have edited for people and made money like that. But I got into doing ads because I was comfortable in front of the camera. I had an entertainment value because I had been streaming live to people for a long time, and I knew how to edit, so I could make ads. So it's just building up those skills and stuff. So invest in yourself, especially if you're not having to like pay rent or something like that. Okay, there's a couple different scenarios. We can go through them a little faster because you guys have heard the basics of what I'm gonna try and talk about here. If you're making $2K a month and you have to pay rent, it's the same thing, just you can't invest as much. You have to be a little smarter with what you're choosing to invest in. With stocks, not as much with stocks, but with investing in yourself, you got to do a little bit more research with what you're about to purchase. Actually dive into what books would actually help you with your path. And maybe you don't even have a path. Maybe you don't have a path and you want to learn what your path is, so you're investing in different things that you can try out, like different books about different types of side hustles. I'm sure there's plenty of books that will teach you about different side hustles and what goes into it, and just help give you a path of things that you can start working on. So that's a way that you can invest in yourself. But yeah, just be a little bit more smart with what you're doing. If you're buying a course or a mentorship from someone, make sure that person is someone you want to buy it from. I've bought a couple courses or mentorships in the past. One big one that was like just not worth my time because I had already known, so it was about YouTube, and I already knew so much about YouTube that like I underestimated my knowledge, and what I got taught was almost all of what I already knew. So it was a huge waste of money, but I got the knowledge that the knowledge I gained from it was to do more research on a course before you buy it. Okay. So the biggest takeaways here are like and if you're literally making $2,000 a month and spending all of it, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are watching this that will be like waiting to hear that. Like they'll be in a situation where they're making $2,000 a month, but they're spending way too much. They're spending all of it. Like their paycheck's just gone out of the window each time they get it, because you have rent and bills and food and stuff like that. Totally understand. Find ways that you can save money. There's something in your life that you're just buying as a comfort, like coffee or subscriptions to things, or just things you're buying that you just don't need. There's a lot of people that do that. I'm sure you're doing it. Even if you're not someone like that, you're probably buying something that you don't need. You can save up, like if it's a subscription, like $10 of a subscription, that's like, after a couple months of not doing that, you can buy a book or two about and learn more about what you want to get passionate about. One thing as well is if you're working a 9 to 5 to get the $2,000, which most 9 to 5s are going to pay more than $2,000 a month. I'd hope almost every one of them, but you're probably part-time or something. Try, if you want to build your own business, which I highly encourage, building up your own skills so that you can start your own thing versus going to work for a company, which is obviously still completely fine if you want to do that. There's a lot of ways you can make a lot of money, like sales and stuff like that, and work for a company but still make a hell of a lot. Where was I going with this? Oh, that I don't remember where I was going with this. Dang it. I forgot what I was talking about. I think I was kind of talking about if you spend all your $2,000. So you just need to have something else on the side that is making you more money, which is why you're investing in yourself. So like, start thinking about what you would want to do instead of your 9 to 5, or just along with your 9 to 5, and start working on it. You just need to start immediately, dude. There's plenty of YouTube videos on like every side hustle. Watch some YouTube videos, take some notes, and start. And you're gonna learn. You're gonna get experience. I'm gonna touch on a different type of investment for a second, and then that'll be it. The last type of like investing, especially in yourself, is investing time. And time is money, as they say. Time is everything. So you need to just start on whatever you want to try, and just go at it. If you don't like it after like a month or two, try something else. Like it's really that simple. Sometimes things are going to be worth it to stick out. Like, for example, ads. Making ads, I did not really enjoy for the first few months. But then when I started making enough money for it to be like, okay, wait, this is kind of cool. And then I started getting more used to making the ads, and it became a faster process, and I started understanding how to do it. It became a little bit more fun. So some things you might have to stick out. But anyways, invest in yourself, invest in the stock market, depending on how much money you're making. And again, this is not financial advice, so do your own research as well. But speaking from my experience and what I would do if I was making $2K a month, that's what I would go with. Yeah, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. And join the Discord. It'll be in the description if you want to start learning about more stuff. It's very small. We have like one person in it so far. But if you want to learn and be in a community, if you join the Discord, ping me, at me, and say like, hey, I want to get started making ads or doing TikTok shop or something like that. And I can give you some advice and get you where you need to be. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next video.